We've been looking at how church life works according to the New Testament. And in Acts chapter 2, we're told that after Peter's proclamation of the good news and his call to men and women to turn from themselves and turn to Christ, those who received his word, the message of the gospel, were baptized, and there were added to their company just a whole ton of people. Their commitment then to the teaching of the apostles, to their communion with one another in Jesus, was then expressed in the two ordinances, or perhaps in your church, you refer to them as sacraments. That word comes to us through the Latin Vulgate. It simply means something sacred. And in the New Testament, we discover that there were two. One was baptism. When people were baptized at that time, they would have gone down into the water. They would probably have disrobed their outward robes and would have been baptized and professed their faith in God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And then as they were welcomed out of the water, they would have been given a new robe. And as they walked out into the community, wet and newly robed, everybody realized something dramatic must have happened to this person in order for them to go to such lengths. And so baptism really is an outward sign of an inward and invisible change. It's a bit like a sign going up on outside of a building. It says, under new ownership. And eventually the evidence of that will become apparent. All the things that have happened behind the scenes are unknown, but now it becomes obvious that the changes have taken place. And those who were baptized were then committed to the breaking of bread. In other words, a reference to the gathering to do as Jesus said to do. Remember me until I come. That the bread, speaking of his broken body, and the cup, his poured out blood. And once again, this notion of the bread that we eat, is it not a communion with one another, with Christ? This cup that we drink, does it not express to us the reality of what this all means? And it is so wonderfully precious and so vitally important. And although different churches have different practices, every true Christian church will have the teaching of the Bible, will actually have the exercise of church discipline, and certainly will have baptism and the Lord's Supper. Perhaps this will cause you to consider this in a different way. And if we can help in any way to that end, you can go to our website at Truth for Life, or perhaps you'll find something even on our Truth for Life app. It's another mark of an effective church.